This is a small demo size of my Hinton hat. It's as big around as the smallest size for babies. Right now, I have just finished seaming between my ending and beginning rows, and I'm at the top of my hat here. I'm going to show you how to close the top. So this is my working loop. When you're ready to close the top, take your hook out for a minute, and you're going to need to turn your hat right side out. And then you're going to need to take your ball of yarn and get it to the right side. So actually, you're going to need to take it through your hat. If it's too big to fit through the top, then you can just wind off enough yarn to finish the top and cut it, and then that smaller amount should fit through. But hopefully everything's stretchy enough for you to get it through. And then you'll want to find your loop. If you're worried about that loop coming undone in the turning process, you can put a little stitch mark or a safety pin in it to help make sure it doesn't get messed up. Okay, so now what we need to do is single crochet two together or single crochet decreases around the top. We're working into row-ins around this top hole. Always make sure that when you are working through row-ins that your hook goes under at least 2 strands of yarn, so we could place it here. We would not want to place it here because it will stretch this hole open. Okay, so we'll chain 1, and your number of decrease stitches around the top will depend on the size of your hat. I'm probably going to be working about 5 stitches here. The exact number is not important. Okay, so I'll go under here, pull up a loop, under here, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. That's the decrease stitch we're doing. And I'm going to work that decrease stitch around the top of the hat. Always placing my hook under at least 2 strands of yarn. And let's see, I'm not back to the beginning yet, so I'll go ahead and keep working those decrease stitches until I get all the way back around. That's good. Okay, so my first decrease stitch was here, so now I'm going to insert under both loops of that and slip stitch to join the end of my round. And then I'm going to pull out several inches of yarn here and cut that off. Okay, let's pull the last of that yarn through here to fasten off. So now I'm going to thread this tail onto my yarn needle. And now looking at the top of the hat, I have these stitches around the top. So I'm going to go under both loops of the first one and then back out under both loops of the next one. And then I'll go under both loops of the next one and back out under both loops of the next one. So I'm going to go around in and out through the tops of the stitches that I made around the top of the hat. Okay, and I think that brings me back to where I started. I'm going to go ahead and do one more, bringing me back to the inside here. So now I've gone in and out around these stitches, and I can pull, and that closes the top of my hat because it's like a drawstring or a purse string. To secure that, sometimes I'll tie a little knot here. You could also go around several times to further stabilize that. I'm just going to tie a little knot there to help hold that. And then you'll take your yarn back to the inside of the hat with the yarn needle and go ahead and turn it wrong side out as you do that. And then once your yarn is back on the inside, then you just need to weave in your end as you normally would.